What does the near future hold for Binance Coin BNB? It's gone up by over 50% since December, but what does the next few days and weeks look like? We're going to do some advanced TA on Binance Coin. So if you like today's video, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Let's dive straight into BNB so we can make some good money. With BNB right now, we're on a daily chart. And what you want to really take away from today is markets typically move in fives and threes. And what we can see with BNB, what looks like to be the case right now, ignoring this wide bar over here, that was probably a news day, but it looks like a nice wave 1, 2, a nice 3, a pretty textbook kind of 4, and then a wave 5. And then it looks like some type of 3-wave correction. Now, when I'm looking at this, I call it a wave 1 or A, 2 or B, because what we should find over the coming weeks, maybe months, that this high should get exceeded. But what we're going to do today is pay special attention to this particular pattern behavior. We want to look at momentum position, which will give us a big clue of what the next 2 or 3, maybe even 4 weeks hold, and then what's ultimately likely to occur with BNB. So first thing, I'm looking at the momentum, right? And it says here the weekly momentum is overbought and the upside should be limited. This over here does look like some type of 5-wave structure. I want to break this down in a bit more detail because markets are relatively predictable once you can see the buying and selling psychology that's occurring as well. So we're going to break that down in just a second with pattern position and some Fibonacci price ratios. Then we are going to zoom out as well to see what's likely to occur, again, over the coming few weeks and maybe even the next few months. Now, as you probably know already, Bitcoin is probably the best macro indicator of the entire crypto market. So now I'm doing a weekly detailed report, mainly when there's relevant information, and I've created a new membership area. It's absolutely free, and if you want to get access, you can now get it for free. Just fill out this form and you'll get instant access. We did the last one a few days ago, but there's some very interesting things happening with Bitcoin, so we want to get ready for potentially the next bull run over the next few months, maybe the next few years, but there's going to be some massive opportunities on the upside and the downside as well. And just so you know, I've added a few extra bonuses, one of which is my Elliott Waves basics training, just a core foundation where you can get the feel of how to read the markets, fear and greed really playing out. So let's now dive back into BNB. I want to really just zoom in to this part of the market, because there's a nice pattern sequence here unfolding, and I think we're going to get a correction in the next few days, maybe even today, because we got a big news announcement later on today. But it looks like a wave 1, a wave 2, it looks like a nice impulsive wave 3, potential wave 4, and it looks like it's on its way of forming some type of wave 5. It's a smaller degree wave count of the previous waves. Now, it's one of the reasons I added the basics training, just so this will make a bit more sense. Right, so we're probably going to get this type of movement and then some type of correction. So some type of correction before we get another move to the upside. But this correction might last a few weeks. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to zoom out very quickly. And I just want to remind ourselves what BNB has done since, since Jan 2021. So that's 2 years, right? 2 years worth of information. We had this incredible move to the upside. Textbook 5-wave structure. A long drawn out, which looks like to be a potential A, B, C correction. Now, we don't know if this bottom has been confirmed yet, but we've had an impulsive move to the upside since this bottom. So that's an indication that this is probably going to hold for a while. We've had this correction that we just looked at. We've got this next impulsive move. So what I'm anticipating with BNB, forget it's BNB for a second, just buying and selling psychology. Let's just make it a bit cleaner and a bit wider over here. Is what we're likely to have happen over the coming few months is typically when you get a 5-wave move to the upside and then you get some type of correction, you'll get more often than not another move to the upside that's a ratio of this one. And the two typical ratios, I'm going to draw them onto the chart in just a second, is 100% and 1.618. And they've got different relationships, but it will give us a good feel for what's likely to occur next. But I am on high alert that the weekly momentum is overbought, which tells us that the immediate upside is limited from a momentum perspective anyway. So let's just draw this onto the chart. Let's just quickly draw this here. And I want to just draw these two ratios on so we can get a bit of a feel for what's likely to occur with BNB. $400 to $520. However, there is a however. Because of this immediate movement here, this 5-wave structure, when you get a clean 5-wave structure, over the next couple of days, we're probably going to see it top out. And we may get some type of correction before the next move to the upside. And this whole part here, like we saw this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we're more than likely going to see some type of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into this zone over here. So let's just now finish on with a bit of detail. It's a bit of detailed analysis. But I want to just show you some end of wave 5 price targets. I'm going to put a question mark here because this has not been confirmed yet. Let me just make sure. Let's just get this clear. And I want to just make this red as well. All right, there's a couple of things when it comes to end of wave 5 targets. And it's really understanding the behavior between wave 4s, or the relationship between wave 4s and wave 5s, and the waves 1 to 3 to wave 5. And I'm gonna show that to you now. So what I'm gonna do, it's called an external retracement. We're gonna measure this length over here, and we're gonna project it up. It's called an external retracement. Really, really reliable. And it just gives us an indicative feel of where the market is likely to go with very high probability. We're probably in that range already, just looking at the data. So it's 1.618 to 1.272. So we're in that range right now. And then the next typical range for an end of wave 5 is measuring the beginning of wave 1, end of wave 3 from wave 4. And I know I've said that really, really fast. But there's a few key ratios. And the ones that we want to pay attention to is 38%, 62%. And if it overextends, the typical overextension is 100%, which is literally just off the chart. I'm going to just bring it back in over here. By the way, when you download the weekly report with Bitcoin, I've actually also added in some basic foundation training for Fibonacci price. So there's a few lessons that I've just added in for free. It's the retracements basics for wave 2, for wave 4. This is really, really important. And also how to do these retracements as well. So it's really, really powerful. But just keep in mind that everything in life is difficult before it's easy. And this is one of those things. But it's like driving a car. Once you get into a flow, then it gets a lot easier. So with Bitcoin, now we've got, BNB, we've got non-farm payroll today. And that tends to, a lot of markets tend to have a lot of reversals around that time. So what we're going to have, I'm going to extend it. This is the overextended range of this particular market. What I believe we're likely to see over the coming few days, and we will finish on this. I just want to give a clear, indicative feel for what's likely to occur. Is we're more than likely, as in we've got this initial move up, we got this correction down, we're more than likely going to get another move up. But this here might just be the first leg of that move, which looks relatively impulsive. So if we do get a correction, there'll be another impulsive move, a correction, and then another impulsive move is more than likely. But, and there is a big but, and the but is the weekly momentum is overbought. And what that just tells us is that the upside, the immediate upside is limited. So that's one of the reasons why we believe this is going to hold. And we're probably going to see some type of correction. And it might be a bit deep before we see the next move to the upside. So BNB, overall strong project, but buying and selling psychology is buying and selling psychology, and that's always going to be the case. So if you like today's video, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Let's finish on a quote of today. We'll go with, what chapter we're going to go with today? I think we're going with chapter 3. It's Confucius. I start each chapter with a quote. It does not matter how slowly you go, as long as you do not stop. Again, I encourage you to really get familiar with Elliott waves, because crypto markets are really, really early, really young, and decades to come, years to come, that there's going to be a lot of price action on the upside and on the downside, where you can make money long in the market and shorting the market. But also keep in mind that Bitcoin is a brilliant indicator for the rest of the market. And when Bitcoin is pumping and going to new highs, or even just moving to the upside, that will be reflected in other cryptocurrencies. And the reverse is also true.